AskReddit by alarming by 4702. What are your thoughts about couples that live separately or sleep in separate bedrooms with different bathrooms? I 100% recommend it. My wife and I started sleeping in separate rooms probably 7 years ago. At first, we felt guilty about it, as if there was something wrong with our marriage, but the fact is, we are both light sleepers, and my wife likes to zone out on her phone in bed, which kept me awake, and I would start to get anxious about getting enough sleep. I tossed and turned a lot and would keep waking her up, and if I got up to pee at night, she would wake up and have a hard time going to sleep again. We even invested in a king-size bed, which only yielded a marginal improvement in our sleep quality. Then someone gave us a queen-sized bed which we put in our guest room, and I started sleeping there, and instantly our quality of sleep and quality of life improved. It took a long time until we told anyone about it because we didn't want to be judged, but now, we have made peace with it. Sometimes it's just comforting to know you have your own space as well. My sister and her husband have separate rooms. She made her own bedroom up and I've noticed less fights between them. She needs her own space and quiet time sometimes and it helps. It makes sense to me. Also totally cool that couples that share a bed. Whatever works to bring you together, and sometimes that is being apart. Due to health issues, we both sleep better separately. This doesn't mean we never sleep together, but if either of us are having trouble sleeping, it's nice to have an option. Regarding bathrooms, so many arguments are avoided by having your own. Deleted. We sleep in separate rooms because my husband snores and I have bad bouts of insomnia. Yeah, this is really common. The snoring thing affects a lot of people. Has he been tested for sleep apnea? My parents do this, and me and my partner do as well for the exact same reasons. My dad snores like a goddamn wildebeest and my mom is a very light sleeper. My fiancé snores somehow louder than my dad, and I become hotter than the 9 circles of hell combined and I kick in my sleep. Edit, they don't have sleep apnea. Edit 2. I love that so many people are playing armchair doctor right now because I made a comment about my partner snoring, and when I tell them they don't have this genuinely bad health issue, which I am glad they don't, I get told I don't know what I'm talking about. Like I don't live with the guy and didn't actively tell him to get it checked out because I was worried about him since his own father has sleep apnea and I didn't want that for him. He's fine. My own dad is fine. We all are fine. Stop saying he has something he doesn't, please. Been doing it over 10 years. It just works for us. My wife and I do this. Originally started because we worked opposite schedules. Absolutely the best thing for our marriage. We snuggle in bed together before sleeping. Still have plenty of physical intimacy, but at the same time both get to have the best sleep possible we can have in our own beds. That seems totally reasonable, even healthy, so that you both can actually get some sleep. Otherwise you might be in worse moods from lack of sleep. I sleep in my bed of rocks, with my rock pillow. Only the thinnest sheet or I will wake up drenched in sweat. I'm 6 feet 2, 240, and my gravitational pull would be disastrous for my wife. My 5 feet 0, 110 pounds wife sleeps in a marshmallow with 7,000 pillows and 52 cushions, nesting between 6 duvets, with a room temperature good enough to make bread. It takes me half an hour every morning to dig her up from the softest rubble to get her out of bed. I snore. She kicks and elbow like a Muay Thai champion. Her bathroom has enough potions and jars that OSHA has written her several warnings. Her shampoos, Chloral's all he needed, smelled like brunch. My bathroom needs, and has, a forced ventilation system large enough that she could easily be sucked into the vents. Hope that is enough detail. Great detail lol. Never took it so far that we sleep in a different bed, but we sleep with our own blankets and it's fucking life changing, haha. 2 blankets is bliss. You can cuddle without getting sweaty. You can get the fabric and weight you like. You don't have that chilly space between you. You can sleep like a cinnamon bun without stealing the blanket. It is a bit trickier to make the bed in an attractive way. I haven't quite figured it out yet, but it's a minor downside. I have married friends who live in San Francisco and they have their own apartments around the corner from each other. It is cheaper than getting one bigger apartment because of rent control. They also have crazy sleep habits that annoy the other. Anyway, they've been happily married for 20 years now. Beautiful. Deleted. I want to be able to afford this lol. It's not exactly the same because we still sleep in the same bed, but me and my fiancé have different bedrooms. We just sleep in whichever one we end up in at night, but having separate rooms helps us have our own aesthetic individuality and personal space. Plus it's nice to nap alone sometimes. This is interesting. So you decorate one room and they decorate the other? Keeps it like a sleepover every night. I think people are starting to realize the reality of life partnership and are more open to non-conventional ways of making it work. A marriage doesn't mean you own the other and have to stick 24 hours. It's teamwork. For both people. And the respect they have for each other. Ain't none of my business. This is the correct answer. A better way to learn why or how people manage this would have been to ask for input from those who do it, not what people think about other people doing it. I had abdominal surgery in the spring. One night I woke up to an elbow right in the gut where my fresh incision was when my husband rolled. After that he slept in the spare room till I was healed. It was amazing to have the bed to myself for almost 2 months. I woke up starfishing every morning lol. So to those couples who live like that all the time, I can see the benefits. But I did miss my snuggle boo and he's back with me now. OMG, I grimaced. That must have hurt so bad. My wife and I just did this for the second night in a row. I have COVID and she does not, and I gotta say, we have both had uncommonly good night's sleep. But I miss being next to her, and I'm sure we will return to sharing the same bed. Unless she doesn't want to, which I would completely understand. We usually spend some time in bed until my wife falls asleep, and if I feel like sleeping alone, I move to my bed. Sometimes we get together in the mornings too if we need to be close. Nothing weird with sleeping well and balancing it with intimacy and being close. Having personal space is important. When I get married, I would love to have my own room and bed lol. Same. I don't understand why this would be weird, honestly. The whole king and queen chambers thing sounds like an awesome way to live. Also so does living in a castle, but I realize that's not actually a good idea in most cases. My partner and I share a room but have our own bathrooms. He is disabled and needs the space. I like to rush around the bathroom and get ready fast. We are not compatible to be in the same bathroom. I heard we only used to sleep together BC beds were so expensive. My partner and I work opposite hours and I would wake up very early to work out. It made more sense and was courteous to sleep in separate rooms. It was hard at first. BC our culture paints a clear picture of how we should be living. I'm so glad I see through that BS now. Do what is best for you in your relationship. That's what matters. Be kind and give others grace. My wife and I do this. It started because I work nights and she work days. I work days now, but we figured out that we both slept better this way, so we've stuck with it. Love this for you guys. My wife and I have done this for 2 years now. It's awesome. I snore, she thrashes, and we can't agree on mattress firmness or number weight of blankets. We sleep way better now, and it works great. And, yes, we'd still have sex since that's the question everyone really is asking when they say how is it? Exactly. Whether you have sex and whether you sleep in the same bed are two separate questions. It's like trying to find whether I use condoms by asking if I'm wearing one right now. My wife and I sleep in separate rooms about half the year. I'm naturally hot all the time and she's like a shivering chihuahua when it drops below 70. Sleep is not romantic. It's needed for proper physical and mental health. It's only a problem if you are sleeping in separate rooms because you don't like each other or are in constant conflict. Common in relationships where people work different shifts or someone snores badly, etc. Nothing wrong with it if the relationship's healthy. Also common with new parents. The first year or when the kids are sick, when one of the parents is sick, etc. I don't really see a problem. Everybody needs as much sleep as they can get, so it's only logical to not disturb each other. We do this for a couple of reasons. Every single thing wakes me up, so I have a box fan running for the white noise. She has never gotten used to it. Plus, she likes having our two dogs in bed, and having her and two beagles pressed up against me makes me feel extremely claustrophobic. She also prefers the room warm, while I like it cold. Once I started sleeping in the guest room I understood what a restful, full night of sleep feels like. Dude. Exactly. I like a fan on for white noise and air movement. She likes the bedroom to be like a tomb. Dead silent and still air. Hubby and I do this. He likes the room warm. I like it cool. He likes some light. I like it pitch black. He likes white noise. I need quiet. He sleeps with a thickish quilt. I just use a sheet. We both snore, so it was potluck who fell asleep first. He has his computer gaming set up in his room. I have bookshelves and a reading nook. I get the whole closet and my own bathroom. 40 years and going strong. Why suffer sleepless uncomfortable nights because it's the perceived convention? I do realize we are lucky to have the space. Empty nesters with spare rooms. You know what? I actually wouldn't mind doing this myself if I ever get married. I'm autistic, and I have very powerful sensory reactions to temperature. I need to sleep in a freezing cold room with no lights or noise and lots of blankets. Pillows and blankets have to be arranged a certain way, etc. I'm sure I would be a nightmare to share a bed with. So, if I ever have a husband, I very well might ask for my own room some of the time. As another autistic person, same. I need it cold, with a face mask, and the bed is set up perfectly for me. I've shared a bed like twice when I was married, and yeah, never again. Deleted. 2 houses, but connected by tunnel. There could be a door to the tunnel that's only opened if your partner does the secret knock. We follow the whatever works best approach in our house. For a few years, when I was working nights, I slept in my own room so as not to wake my husband when I came to bed. When babies came along, we slept where and when we could. Once the kid was settled in its own room, and I wasn't working nights, we slept in the same bed cause it worked and us time felt so precious. Now that another baby is on the way, I don't know what will happen. Maybe he will set his swag up in the yard and sleep out there. I've literally slept on the couch to give my wife peace. I was in the Marines and I learned to sleep wherever and whenever and be grateful. The spouse, not so much. So if she needs space and I don't want an earful about noises and blankets, then I have no problem with the couch. I always leave a bit of room just in case she sneaks over. I think it depends on the dynamic outside of their sleeping arrangements. If all seems well and both are happy, then they're a couple who aren't bound to typical constraints of what a couple should and shouldn't be. They've largely made the choice to promote better sleep health. Always a good thing, and the benefits from that are a two-way street. I respect this. If the rest of the marriage dynamic is strained, the separate sleeping arrangements are just another symptom of a physical gulf between both partners. But still, if they're unhappily married, they likely have valid reasons to be so. I respect this, too. They do them. None of my business. My wife and I slept in separate bedrooms because of my snoring for 6 months. Then I was diagnosed with severe sleep apnea, got a CPAP machine, and now we are back to stealing the covers from each other, just like God intended. I don't care what other people do, but I sleep a lot better with my wife next to me in bed.